The sky over New York turned dark at noon. Not from clouds or an eclipse, but from the massive ships that blocked the sun. Commander Allison Wright stood on the roof of the Earth Defense Fleet headquarters and watched the alien vessels hover above the city. Her hands gripped the railing until her knuckles turned white. "They're in position over every major city," said the voice of her second-in-command through her earpiece. "Beijing, London, Moscow, all reporting the same thing." Allison nodded even though no one could see her. 6 months ago, humans had detected the fleet moving toward Earth. They had tried to make contact. They had prepared defenses. None of it mattered now. The largest ship, at least 5 miles across, moved directly over Manhattan. A blue light shot down from its center and formed a screen in the sky. On it appeared the face of what humans would later know as Supreme Overlord Kraxnor of the Zalthax Empire. The face was almost human-like, but wrong in many ways. The skin was pale blue. The eyes were too large and completely black. When it spoke, its mouth moved strangely as if the words were being forced out. "People of Earth," the voice boomed across the city. "Your planet is now part of the Zalthax Empire. Resistance is pointless. We have taken 738 star systems before yours. All who fought are gone. All who surrendered still live. You have 1 hour to decide." Allison's phone rang. It was the president. "What are our options?" the president asked, her voice surprisingly calm. "Madam President, we have none," Allison replied. "Our most powerful weapons would be like throwing rocks at their ships. We need to surrender." Across the country in Berkeley, California, John Martinez was watching the same scene on his laptop. The neurological researcher had been studying memes and how they spread through human brains for the past 5 years. Now, as he watched aliens announce the end of human independence, his mind was racing with questions about how these creatures thought. "John, are you seeing this?" His colleague, Dr. Samantha Powell, called from the lab next door. "I am," John said. "Come in here. I want to show you something." Samantha entered his office. Her face was pale with fear, but her eyes showed the same scientific curiosity that had made her one of the top researchers in the field of comparative neurology. "Look at the way it speaks," John said, replaying the alien message. "The mouth moves before the sound. The eyes don't blink in the right pattern. I think they're not actually speaking like we do. This might be a translation of something else." "Something else like what?" Samantha asked. "Like maybe they don't communicate with words at all. Maybe they share thoughts directly, like a network." 1 hour later, the President of the United States went on TV and surrendered to the aliens. Within a day, every country on Earth had done the same. The Zalthax landing ships descended on major cities. The aliens began setting up their rule. The first thing they did was take control of all major media. The second was to establish work camps. Humans were sorted by skills and assigned jobs. Those who resisted disappeared. 2 weeks after the surrender, John and Samantha were taken from their lab at Berkeley. They expected to be sent to a work camp, but instead, they were brought to a secret government facility in Nevada. There, they met other scientists and researchers who had been gathered from around the world. A tired-looking military officer named General Frank Howard explained why they were there. "You're our last hope," he said simply. "We need to find a weakness in these aliens, any weakness." John raised his hand. "Sir, I've been studying their communications. I believe they don't think like us. They seem to share thoughts directly through some kind of mental network." The general nodded. "That fits with what we've learned. The Zalthax appear to have a hive mind type of communication. Each individual is connected to the whole." "If that's true," Samantha said, "then they might not understand certain types of human communication, especially things that rely on individual perspectives or cultural context." For the next 3 months, the team worked in secret while the world above them changed. The aliens, through their appointed human helpers, set up a new system of government. People were allowed to live normal lives as long as they followed the new rules and met their work quotas. Colonial Administrator Vextol, the alien in charge of the North American region, appeared on TV each week to announce new rules and punishments. Humans quickly learned that the aliens didn't understand jokes or sarcasm. Several newscasters were taken away after making comments that the aliens considered dangerous communication. In the underground facility, John made a breakthrough. He had been studying records of alien reactions to various types of human media. The aliens had banned certain types of books, movies, and internet content, claiming they were harmful to order. Look at what they banned first, John told Samantha, showing her a list. Satirical news, memes, surrealist art, abstract concepts. Things that don't make logical sense, Samantha realized. Exactly. I think their minds literally can't process information that contradicts itself or creates meaning through ambiguity. It causes them mental pain. Their theory got its first test when a guard brought them a new person. His name was Kevin Reeves, a Navy intelligence officer who had managed to infiltrate a Zalthax command center before being captured. I saw something weird, Kevin told them. One of our guys showed an alien guard a meme. You know, one of those pictures with text that doesn't make sense unless you know the joke. The alien started shaking and had to be carried away. John's eyes lit up. Do you remember what the meme was? Kevin nodded. It was that one with the dog in a burning room saying, "This is fine." John and Samantha looked at each other. An idea was forming. If the aliens communicated through shared mental frameworks, what would happen if those frameworks were disrupted by concepts they couldn't process? That night, they began designing tests. They created simple visual paradoxes and showed them to the human guards, asking them to describe how the aliens might react. The answers confirmed their theory. The aliens experienced everything from mild discomfort to physical pain when faced with information their minds couldn't categorize. We need more data, Samantha said, and a way to test these directly on the aliens. Their chance came when Lisa Garza was brought to the facility. Lisa had been a social media influencer before the invasion. Now she ran an underground network that passed physical notes and USB drives between resistance cells, avoiding the alien-monitored internet. I can get your test images to people who work with the aliens, Lisa told them. But what's the point? Of making them uncomfortable? We need weapons, not jokes. John smiled for the first time in months. Lisa, I think jokes might be the most powerful weapons we have. The aliens can't process certain types of human thinking. If we can find the right types of memes, we might be able to do more than make them uncomfortable. We might be able to break their minds. As the first snow of winter fell on the world above, the team began their real work. They were no longer just scientists studying an enemy. They were weapons designers, creating the most unusual arsenal in human history. Weaponized memes designed to bring down a galactic empire. 6 months passed under alien rule. Winter gave way to spring, but few noticed the changing seasons. Most humans were too busy working in the factories and farms set up by the Zalthax. The aliens needed resources, and Earth had plenty. In the Buck, underground facility in Nevada, now called the basement by those who worked there, John Martinez stared at a screen showing brain scans. The images came from a brave doctor who had managed to scan a dead Zalthax after an accident at one of the work camps. Look at this, John said to Samantha Powell, pointing at a section of the alien brain. Their neural pathways are completely different from ours. See how they all connect to this central node? Samantha nodded. It's like their brains are built for group thinking. No wonder they can't handle certain types of human communication. The door to their lab opened, and Kevin Reeves walked in. His face was dirty and he had lost weight, but his eyes were bright with excitement. I got it, he said, pulling a small device from his pocket. Took me 3 months to get into their command center, but I got the data. Kevin had managed to infiltrate a Zalthax ship by posing as a human worker. While cleaning their command center, he had placed a tiny device on one of their computers. The device copied information about the aliens' mental structure and communication methods. John plugged the device into his computer, the screen filled with strange symbols and diagrams. This will take time to decode, he said, but this is exactly what we needed. While John and Samantha worked on understanding the alien data, Lisa Garza expanded her underground network. She recruited people who worked in the alien facilities, cleaners, maintenance workers, and even some of the human supervisors who had been chosen to help the aliens run the work camps. We need your eyes and ears, she told her new recruits, and sometimes we'll need you to show the aliens certain images or play certain sounds near them. Can you do that without getting caught? Most agreed. Even those who worked for the aliens didn't like them. The Zalthax never showed emotion and treated humans like machines. They didn't understand the need for rest, entertainment, or human connection. Back in the basement, John made an important discovery. They have no concept of humor, he told the team during their weekly meeting. Not just that they don't find things funny. They literally cannot understand why something would be said if it isn't literally true. What about sarcasm, irony? Asked Dr. Eric Donovan, a military psychologist who had joined the team. That's the thing, John said. Those concepts don't exist for them. When they hear someone say something that isn't literally accurate, they think the person is either lying or mentally damaged. This explained why the aliens had such harsh reactions to jokes and memes. Their minds simply couldn't process information that required understanding context or multiple layers of meaning. The team began testing their theory. Lisa's network showed simple jokes and puns to aliens. The results were always the same: confusion, followed by physical discomfort. The aliens would often leave the area or order the humans to stop talking. But the breakthrough came when Kevin showed a Zalthax overseer a classic internet meme. A picture of a person making a strange face with text that made no sense without cultural context. The alien actually backed away, Kevin reported. It called for help. 3 others came, looked at the image, and they all seemed to freeze for a moment. Then they destroyed the phone and took the human away for questioning. John nodded thoughtfully. They're not just annoyed by these things. They're afraid of them. I think memes might cause actual damage to their mental network. The team recruited Susan Clark, a graphic designer who had worked in advertising before the invasion. Susan had a talent for creating images that caught people's attention and stuck in their minds. We need memes that are extra confusing, John told her. Things that make no sense even to humans but feel like they should mean something. Susan went to work, creating images that combined unrelated concepts with text that seemed meaningful but wasn't. She added layers of irony that only humans would understand. The first real test came when Lisa managed to get one of Susan's creations displayed on a screen in a Zalthax control room. The image showed a cat with human teeth smiling, with text that read, "When you remember, you forgot to forget." Meaningless to most humans, but designed to look like it should make sense. The results exceeded their expectations. The 3 aliens in the room all stopped moving. One fell to the floor. The others began making strange sounds, their mouths opening and closing rapidly. It's like they're trying to process the information but can't, Lisa reported. They called it a mind attack afterward. They shut down the whole facility for a day to search for more images. This confirmed what John had suspected. The aliens' shared mental network was vulnerable to information it couldn't categorize. The memes weren't just confusing the aliens. They were disrupting their ability to think as a group. In the basement, the team expanded their efforts. They created more complex memes, adding visual paradoxes that would confuse even human brains. Dr. Donovan suggested using sound as well, creating audio that seemed like it should make sense but didn't. Imagine hearing someone speak in your language, but the words don't connect to make meaning, he explained. For us, it's just confusing. For them, it might be painful. They recorded phrases that sounded like normal sentences, but actually contained contradictions or logical impossibilities. When Lisa's network played these near-alien overseers, the results were immediate. The aliens would stop whatever they were doing, their large black eyes blinking rapidly as they tried to process what they heard. 6 months into their research, John and Samantha finally understood enough about the alien mental structure to create truly effective weapons. They called them cognitive disruptors, memes specifically designed to cause maximum confusion in the alien neural network. Their minds work through pure logic and shared experience, John explained to General Howard. Every concept must fit neatly into their understanding of reality. When they encounter something that doesn't fit, like humor or irony, it creates a disruption. If that disruption is strong enough, it spreads through their network like a virus. The general nodded slowly. So you're saying we can use jokes to fight the most powerful empire in the galaxy? John smiled. Not just jokes, sir. We're going to use the full power of human absurdity, And yes, I believe it will work. As summer approached, the team began preparing for a larger test. Lisa's network had grown to include thousands of people across the country. They were ready to launch what John called Operation Shitpost, the first real attack against the Eziao alien occupation. The future of humanity now depended on the strangest weapon ever created, weaponized memes. The summer sun beat down on the desert above the basement. Inside the cool underground facility, Dr. Eric Donovan led a meeting with the expanded team. 20 people sat around a large table, each bringing different skills to the fight against the Zalthax. "We need to understand exactly how their minds break," Eric said, standing at the front of the room. "It's not enough to confuse them temporarily. We need to cause permanent damage to their mental network." Susan Clark raised her hand. The graphic designer had become an essential part of the team, creating the visual components of their mimetic weapons. "I've been studying their reactions to different types of images," she said. "They seem most disturbed by things that should be impossible but look real, like faces with too many eyes or buildings that couldn't actually stand up." John nodded. "That makes sense. Their minds can't handle paradoxes or visual impossibilities. Their neural network tries to categorize everything they see, and when something doesn't fit any category, it causes a disruption." Samantha added, "It's like trying to divide by zero in a computer program. The system doesn't know what to do with the information, so it crashes." The team spent the next month creating increasingly powerful memes. They built on what they had learned, making images that looked normal at first glance but contained subtle impossibilities. They wrote phrases that seemed to make sense until you thought about them more deeply. They called their creations recursive memes, jokes and images that created infinite loops in the alien thought process. The Zalthax would try to understand them, fail, try again, and keep failing, unable to stop trying. Lisa's network tested these new weapons in the field. They showed them to alien overseers or played audio files near them. The results were better than expected. Many aliens experienced what humans would call seizures, their bodies shaking, their eyes rapidly blinking as their mental processes collapsed. "We're making progress," Lisa told the team during a secure video call. "But we need something bigger. These small attacks aren't enough to drive them away." John had been working on exactly that. He showed the team his latest creation. A complex meme that combined visual paradoxes with contradictory text and cultural references that only humans would understand. "I call it a mimetic bomb," he explained. "It's designed to spread through their mental network. When one alien sees it, the confusion spreads to all connected minds." The team prepared to test this new weapon. They needed a place with multiple aliens who were connected to the main Zalthax network. Lisa suggested a small command post in what used to be a shopping mall in Phoenix. Only 5 aliens worked there, supervising human workers. Kevin volunteered to plant the mimetic bomb. He had become skilled at infiltrating alien facilities, using his background in naval intelligence to move undetected. "Get in, show them the image, and get out," John told him. "We don't know how big the effect will be." 3 days later, Kevin entered the command post disguised as a maintenance worker. He carried a tablet with the mimetic bomb hidden among normal work files. When he reached the main control room, he pretended to trip, dropping the tablet so the screen showed the image. The effect was immediate and more powerful than anyone had expected. All 5 aliens in the room collapsed. Their bodies shook violently. Strange sounds came from their mouths as if their vocal systems were malfunctioning. Then something unexpected happened. Aliens in other parts of the building who hadn't seen the image began showing the same symptoms. The effect was spreading through their mental connection. Kevin grabbed his tablet and ran. As he drove away from the facility, he saw more Zalthax ships arriving. The aliens were responding to what they now surely saw as an attack. Back in the basement, the team watched Kevin's video of the event with excitement and concern. "It worked better than we thought," John said. "But now they know about this weapon. They'll try to defend against it." Samantha studied the video closely. "Look at how quickly it spread. Their mental network must be more connected than we realized. This could work on a much larger scale." General Howard entered the room, his face serious. "The aliens are searching for whoever created that image. They've increased security at all facilities, but they're also acting differently. Some of them seem confused even days after the attack. This news excited the team. It meant the mimetic effects could be lasting. The damage to the alien minds didn't heal quickly. "We need to go bigger," Eric said. "Not just a single command post. We need to hit their main communication system." Lisa joined the conversation through a secure video link. "My network has identified their central communication hub for North America. It's in what used to be the Pentagon. That's where all their mental network traffic is processed." The team began planning their biggest attack yet. They would create not just one mimetic bomb, but an entire arsenal of weaponized memes. They would hit the Zalthax with everything they had: jokes, paradoxes, visual impossibilities, and cultural references so complex that no alien mind could process them. Susan worked day and night designing images that would cause maximum disruption. She created visual patterns that seemed to move in impossible ways. She made pictures that looked different the longer you stared at them. "These will break their mental processing," she said, showing her work to the team. "They won't be able to look away, and they won't be able to understand what they're seeing." John and Samantha developed the delivery system. They created a program that would flood the alien communication network with mimetic content. Once inside the system, it would spread to every connected Zalthax mind. "It's like a mental virus," John explained. "But instead of harmful code, it's harmful ideas, concepts that their minds simply cannot process." General Howard brought in military support. Major Patricia Hernandez, an Army Special Forces officer, would lead a team to physically infiltrate the communication hub and plant the program. "Once we're in, we'll have about 5 minutes before they detect us," Patricia told the team. "That should be enough time to start the program." The plan was set. In 1 week, they would launch what they now called Operation Shitpost, a full-scale mimetic attack on the Zalthax Empire. If it worked, the aliens would experience a mental collapse unlike anything they had ever known. The night before the operation, John couldn't sleep. He walked through the quiet halls of the basement, thinking about what they were about to do. They were using humor as a weapon, perhaps the most human thing possible. The very things that made humans unique. Their creativity, their ability to see multiple meanings, their love of absurdity, might be what saved them from alien rule. John smiled in the darkness. The most powerful empire in the galaxy was about to learn that humans were more dangerous than anyone had realized. Not because of their technology or their weapons, but because of their minds. The day of Operation Shitpost arrived exactly 1 year after the Zalthax had taken over Earth. The date was not chosen by accident. The aliens had planned a big broadcast by Supreme Overlord Kraxnor to celebrate their successful conquest of Earth. This broadcast would connect all Zalthax minds across the planet and even to their fleet in orbit. It was the perfect opportunity for the human attack. Major Patricia Hernandez and her team of 6 soldiers prepared in an abandoned building near the Pentagon. They wore maintenance worker uniforms, stolen from humans who worked for the aliens. Each carried hidden weapons and a small device containing the mimetic program. "Remember, we only need one of these to reach their main system," Patricia told her team. "If anyone gets caught, the rest keep going." Across the country, Lisa's network was ready. Thousands of humans in Zalthax work camps and facilities had small devices or printed images hidden away. On Patricia's signal, they would all act at once, creating confusion that would help the main attack succeed. In the skies above North America, Brandon Kelly piloted Earth's last operational stealth aircraft. Before the invasion, he had been an Air Force test pilot. Now his job was to observe the attack from above and report back on its effectiveness. "In position," Brandon's voice came through the secure channel. No alien patrols detected nearby. In the basement, John, Samantha, and the rest of the team watched multiple screens showing feeds from tiny cameras carried by Patricia's team. General Howard paced behind them, his face tense. "It all comes down to this," he said quietly. 1 year of planning, all for today." Patricia's team moved toward the Pentagon with a steady pace of workers heading to their shift. They passed through the first security checkpoint without problems. Their fake IDs worked perfectly. The human guards paid little attention to maintenance. Workers. The second checkpoint was harder. A Zalthax overseer stood watching as humans and aliens entered the building. Its large black eyes seemed to look right through each person. "Stay calm," Patricia whispered to her team. "Remember your cover stories." They approached the checkpoint one by one. The first 3 team members passed through without issue. When it was Patricia's turn, the alien stared at her longer than the others. "Your work assignment," it said in the flat tone all Zalthax used when speaking to humans. Patricia handed over her fake work order. The alien studied it, then looked back at her. "This area was cleaned yesterday," it said. Patricia had practiced for this. "Yes, but there was a water leak overnight. We need to check for damage." For a moment it seemed like the alien didn't believe her. Then it handed back the work order and pointed toward the door. Once inside, Patricia's team split up. 2 members headed for the power systems. One went toward the security center. Patricia and the remaining 2 made their way to the central communication hub. 5 minutes until the broadcast, John's voice said in Patricia's earpiece. "All teams in position." Outside the communication hub, Patricia could see 4 Zalthax technicians working at strange consoles. The door was locked and required alien handprints to open. "Plan B," Patricia whispered. One of her team members took out what looked like a small fire alarm. He attached it to the wall and pressed a button. Immediately, a high-pitched sound filled the hallway. The aliens inside the room looked up in confusion. When one of them came to check the sound, Patricia's team was ready. They used a device John had created that emitted a pulse of light containing one of Susan's visual paradoxes. The alien froze when it saw the light, its body becoming rigid. Patricia and her team rushed past the frozen alien and into the communication. The other aliens turned toward them, but it was too late. Each team member activated their light devices, freezing the remaining aliens in place. "We're in," Patricia reported. "Planting the program now." She plugged a small drive into the alien computer system. The screen filled with code as the program began uploading. On other screens around the room, she could see preparations for Kraxnor's broadcast. The Supreme Overlord's image was already being transmitted to all Zalthax devices across the planet. 30 seconds until full upload, Patricia said. Suddenly, alarms began to sound. The frozen aliens were starting to move again, fighting against the mental paralysis caused by the visual paradoxes. "We've been detected," Patricia said. "Security is coming." The upload bar on the screen reached 90%, then 95%. Patricia drew her hidden weapon, ready to defend the position until the upload finished. "Done!" she shouted as the bar reached 100%. "The program is in their system." Across the planet, the attack began. As Kraxnor started his speech, the program activated. The broadcast signal was hijacked. Instead of seeing their supreme overlord, every connected Zalthax saw a flood of memes, impossible images, paradoxical statements, jokes with multiple meanings, and human cultural references that made no logical sense. In the Pentagon, the aliens fell to the ground, their bodies shaking. Strange sounds came from their mouths as their minds tried and failed to process what they were seeing. "It's working," Patricia reported as she and her team fought their way out of the building. "They're all down." Brandon, watching from his aircraft, reported similar scenes across the city. Alien ships are moving erratically. Some are crashing into each other. It's spreading to their fleet. In alien facilities across the country, Lisa's network sprang into action. They showed hidden memes to any aliens still functioning, spreading the mental disruption even further. In the basement, John watched the feeds with a mixture of hope and disbelief. "It's working better than we expected," he said. "Their entire command structure is collapsing." The hack into the broadcast system lasted only 10 minutes before the aliens managed to cut the connection. But by then, the damage was done. The mimetic weapons had spread through the Zalthax mental network, creating a cascading failure that affected every connected alien. Reports came in from around the world. Alien overseers were collapsing. Work camps were left unguarded. Ships in the sky moved without purpose, some crashing into empty fields or the ocean. Then came the most surprising development. The massive command ship hovering over what used to be the United Nations building in New York began to move. It was rising, heading up into the atmosphere. "They're retreating," General Howard said in disbelief. "They're actually retreating." More alien ships followed, breaking formation and rising toward space. Some moved erratically as if their pilots couldn't control them properly. Others maintained formation but still headed away from Earth. Brandon's voice came through, excited. "I'm seeing ships leaving atmosphere all across my visual range. I think we're winning." As night fell across America, Patricia and her team made it back to a safe house. The streets were filled with confused but celebrating humans. Alien guards had disappeared. Work camps were empty. For the first time in a year, humans moved freely without fear. "We did it," Patricia said, watching alien ships disappear into the night sky. "We actually did it." In orbit, aboard his flagship, Supreme Overlord Cracksnore fought against the mental fog that clouded his thoughts. Strange images kept appearing in his mind. Concepts that made no sense but wouldn't go away. His entire mental network was corrupted with human nonsense. With the last of his clear thinking, he gave a final order. Retreat from the Sol system. Earth was too dangerous. Human thoughts were a weapon unlike anything the Empire had ever faced. 5 years passed since the day the Zalthax fled Earth. The planet had changed in ways no one could have imagined before the alien invasion. Humanity had not only survived, but had grown stronger. They had alien technology now, left behind when the Zalthax retreated in panic. John Martinez stood on the observation deck of the space station New Horizon, looking down at Earth below. The station had been built using Zalthax technology, one of many projects that would have been impossible before the invasion. "Beautiful view," Samantha Powell said, joining him at the window. "Hard to believe how far we've come in 5 years." John nodded. After the aliens left, he and Samantha had led the effort to understand the technology they left behind. It turned out the Zalthax were far more advanced than humans in many ways. Their ships could travel faster than light, their power sources were clean and nearly unlimited, and their medical technology could cure diseases humans had fought for centuries. "The first colony ships are ready," Samantha said. "They'll leave for Alpha Centauri next week." Humanity was expanding beyond Earth now. The Zalthax star maps had shown thousands of habitable planets, and humans were eager to explore them. The first colony ships would carry 5,000 people to start a new life on another world. "Have you seen today's report from the border stations?" John asked. Samantha nodded. 3 more alien ships detected at the edge of our solar system. They're watching us, but not coming closer. After the retreat, the Zalthax had kept their distance from Earth. Occasionally, their ships would appear at the edge of the solar system, observing but never approaching. Earth's new defense fleet, built from modified alien ships, stood ready if they ever returned. In what used to be the White House, now called the Earth Unity Center, Admiral Allison Wright met with representatives from various nations. As the commander who had first witnessed the alien arrival, she had become the leader of Earth's new combined defense forces. "The translator technology is working well," she told the gathered leaders. "We've made contact with 2 more alien species in the past month. Both were former subjects of the Zalthax Empire." This had been another surprise. After the Zalthax fled, humans discovered they weren't alone in the galaxy. Many alien species had been conquered by the Empire. When word spread that humans had driven away the supposedly unbeatable Zalthax, these species had sought contact. "What do they want from us?" asked the representative from Japan. "Protection, mainly," Allison replied. "The Zalthax Empire is in chaos. Our mimetic attack did more damage than we realized. Their entire mental network is still corrupted. Many of their subject worlds have rebelled. The humans learned that the Zalthax ruling class had all been connected to the same mental network. When the memes infected their system, the damage spread throughout their empire. Many Zalthax ships never made it home, their crews too confused to navigate properly. Others arrived, bringing the mental corruption with them. Outside the meeting room, Brandon Kelly waited. The former pilot now led Earth's new space fleet. His ships explored the solar system and beyond, mapping the territory that would soon become humanity's expanded home. "Admiral Wright," he said when Allison emerged from the meeting. "The Arcturian ambassadors have arrived. They're waiting for you at the landing pad." The Arcturians were the latest alien species to contact Earth. Like others before them, they had been under Zalthak's rule for centuries. Now they sought alliance with the humans who had defeated their oppressors. Across the world, Lisa Garza's network had changed too. Once an underground resistance, it was now the main human communication system. Lisa had become Earth's Minister of Interspecies Communication, using her skills to help humans and friendly aliens understand each other. "The Arcturians are nervous," Lisa told Allison as they walked to meet the ambassadors. "Their world is close to what's left of the Zalthak's empire. They fear retaliation for contacting us. We'll protect them if needed," Allison said. "That's what allies do." The Arcturian ambassadors were tall, thin beings with pale green skin and 4 arms. They bowed deeply when Allison and Lisa approached. "Defenders of Freedom," the lead ambassador said through a translator device. "Our people thank you for agreeing to meet us." The meeting lasted several hours. The Arcturians shared information about other alien species, star systems with valuable resources, and the current state of the Zalthak's empire. In return, they wanted Earth's protection and help setting up their own defenses. Later that evening, John and Samantha joined Allison, Lisa, and other team members for dinner. They gathered in what had once been the basement but was now an official research center. The walls that had once hidden their secret work now displayed images of stars and planets humans would soon visit. "I received an interesting message today," Allison said as they ate, "from the new Zalthak's government." Everyone at the table fell silent. This was the first direct communication from the Zalthak since their retreat. "What did they say?" John asked. "They want peace talks," Allison replied. "Apparently, Supreme Overlord Cracksnore has been overthrown. The new leadership wants to establish borders and trade agreements with Earth. Do you believe them?" Samantha asked. Allison smiled. "They included one very specific demand in their message. All human cultural transmissions must be strictly quarantined. They've classified our memes as Class 5 cognitive biohazards under their law." The table erupted in laughter. Their weapons had been so effective that the once mighty empire now feared human jokes more than human weapons. 2 days later, Lisa Garza represented Earth at the first peace talks with the new Zalthak's government. The meeting took place on a neutral space station built by another alien species. The Zalthak's representatives stayed behind thick walls designed to block any human transmissions. They communicated only through text, fearing that human voices or images might contain hidden mimetic weapons. After hours of negotiation, Lisa signed the first peace treaty between Earth and the Zalthak's empire. The treaty established clear borders between human and Zalthak's territory. It allowed for limited trade but strictly controlled cultural exchanges. Most importantly, it recognized Earth's independence and its right to form alliances with other species. As Lisa applied her signature to the document, she smiled at her aide, Andrew Phillips. "They're terrified of us," she whispered. "Not of our weapons or our technology, they're afraid of how we think." Andrew nodded. "Should we tell them about TikTok?" Lisa laughed softly. "Maybe in a few hundred years. I don't think they're ready for that level of human absurdity just yet." As her ship left the meeting station, Lisa looked out at the stars. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger than before. They had discovered that their greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their resources, but their minds, their creativity, their humor, and their ability to think in ways no other species could understand. The galaxy was opening up before them, full of wonders and dangers. But humanity would face it with confidence, knowing that sometimes the most powerful weapon wasn't a gun or a bomb, but a joke that no one else got.